Lomov, who was there at Natalia's house to propose her for marriage, he has disclosed his intention of visit to Natalia's father, Mr. Chubukov. Chubukov was really very glad, very happy to learn that. And when he calls Natalia so that Lomov can express his opinion in front of Natalia, before he could propose Natalia, they both enter into an argument. The discussion converted into an argument on the matter of a farm, on the matter of Oxen Meadows, where Lomov claims that Oxen Meadows belong to them, while Natalia says that the Oxen Meadows belong to them. Lomov told her that it was a subject of dispute, but now it has been cleared that Oxen Meadows belong to them, as his grandfather's grandfather had given the Oxen Meadows his to the family of Natalia, for the peasants of his to Natalia's family's peasants, so that they can work upon it. It was a generous act, but the peasants had to make bricks for Lomo's family in return, right? But because the land was given to them for a long period of 40 years, so they started assuming it as their own land, and then it became a subject of dispute. But then Lomo said that I have the documents where he can easily prove that now the Oxen Meadows belong to them. But then Natalia and Chibukov both were not willing to take up this thing at all, and they had a hot debate with Lomov over the issue of Oxen Meadows. Let's continue where Natalia is starting now.
It's not true. I will prove it. I'll send my mowers out to the meadows this very day.
What?
My mowers will be there this very day.
I will give it to them in the neck.
You dare.
Oxen meadows are mine. You understand? Mine.
Please don't shout. You can shout yourself hoarse in your own house, but here I must ask you to restrain yourself.
If it wasn't, madam, for this awful, excruciating palpitation, if my whole inside wasn't upset, I'd talk to you in a different way. Oxen meadows are mine.
Ours.
Mine.
Ours.
Mine.
What's the matter? What are you shouting for?
Papa, please tell this gentleman who owns Oxen Meadows, we or he.
Darling, the meadows are ours.
But please, Stepanovich, how can they be yours? Do be a reasonable man. My aunt's grandmother gave the meadows for the temporary and free use of your grandfather's peasants. The peasants used the land for 40 years and got accustomed to it as if it was their own. When it happened that
Excuse me, my precious, you forget just this that the peasants didn't pay your grandmother and all that because the meadows were in dispute and so on. And now everybody knows that they are ours. It means that you haven't seen the plan.
I will prove to you that they are mine.
You won't prove it, my darling.
I shall.
Dear one, why yell like that? You won't prove anything just by yelling. I don't want anything of yours and don't intend to give up what I have. Why should I? And you know, my beloved, that if you propose to go on arguing about it, I would have much I would have much sooner give up the meadows to the peasants than to you. There.
I don't understand. How have you the right to give away somebody else's property?
You may take it that I know whether I have the right or not, because, young man, I am not used to being spoken to in that tone of voice, and so on. I, young man, am twice your age, and ask you to speak to me without agitating yourself and all that.
No, you just think I'm a fool and want to have me on. You call my line yours, and then you want me to talk to you calmly and politely. Good neighbors don't behave like that. Stephen Stepanovich, you are not a neighbor, you are a grabber.
What's that? What did you say?
Papa, send the Moors out to the meadows at once.
What did you say, sir?
Oxen meadows are ours, and I shan't give them up. Shan't give them up. Shan't give them up.
We'll see. I will have the matter taken to the court, and then I will show you.
To court. You can take it to court and all that. You can. I know you. You are just on the lookout for a chance to go to court and all that. You pettifogger. All your people were like that. All of them.
Okay, just take a pause here. See, now we see earlier the argument was between Natalia and Lomov. Now the argument, now even Tribukov is a part of the debate, is the part of an argument. Tribukov, see, Natalia was not aware the purpose of Lomov's visit, but Tribukov was well aware of it. Still, he forgets his purpose of visit and he starts discussing and arguing about the possession of Oxen Meadows, right? We find each of them, three of them, being very rude, yelling at each other, being violent, calling the bowlers. So they are threatening each other, they're shouting upon each other. Lumov says that if it was something else, I would have spoken to you in a different tone. But when you're talking about the Oxen Meadows, it's us. So we find that three of them, they have forgotten that courtesy. Lomov has forgotten his purpose of visit. Chubukov, just few minutes before, Chubukov was very glad that Lomov is there to propose his daughter, and now even he is in that quarrelsome spirit, right? So let's continue further. Where Lomov calls Chubukov grabber, that is land grabber. Land grabber is the one who has forcefully occupied somebody else's land. Let's continue, please.
Never mind
Chubukov?
about my people.
Okay, Lomov, please continue.
Never mind about my people. The Lomovs have all been honorable people, and not one has ever been tried for embezzlement, like your grandfather.
You Lomovs have had lunacy in your family. All of you.
All.
Your grandfather was a drunkard, and your younger aunt, Nastasia Mihailovna, ran away with an architect, and so on.
And your mother was hum-baked, something pulling in my side. My head, help, water.
Your father was a guzzling gambler.
And there haven't been many backbitters to equal your aunt.
My left foot has gone to sleep. You are an intriguer. Oh, my heart. And it's an open secret that before the last elections, you breathe. I can see stars. Where's my hat?
It's low, it's dishonest, it's mean.
And you are just a malicious, double-faced intriguer. Yes.
Here's my hat. My hurt. Which way? Where's the door? Oh, I think I'm dying. My foot's quite numb.
And don't set foot in my house again.
Take it to court, we will see.
Take him.
What a rascal. What trust can one have in one's neighbor after that?
The villain, the scared cat.
The monster. First he takes our land and then he has the impudence to abuse us.
And that blind hen, yes, that turnip host has the confounded cheek to make a proposal and so on. What a proposal!
What proposal?
Why, he came here to propose to you.
To propose to me? Why didn't you tell me so before?
So he dresses up in evening clothes, the stuffed sausage, the wizen-faced frump.
Now, here you find that change in attitude of all the three characters. Just few minutes before, Lomo was full of appreciation for the Chibukov's family. And now they started blaming each other. They calling each other by different names. They started recalling the past where the families really spoiled the name, right? For example, here when he's talking about, he says that you Lomovs, Chibukov said that you Lomovs have had lunacy in your family. Lunacy is basically, you can relate it to madness or something which is not considering of a good character, basically. So here Chibukov further says that your grandfather was a drunkard and your younger aunt Natsalya Mahilwana ran away with an architect. That's what I'm telling you, that now they have started defaming each other's families, ancestors also. So Lomov on this says that your mother was humpbacked, and then he says, somebody help me, pulling himself side my head, help, water, water. So we find Lomov being a man but getting very weaker. He is busy, he's yelling at them, he's shouting at them, he's agitated, he's in that frowning condition, but then he is like looking for water and as if he's almost about to faint, right? So Chubukov still continues with all his allegations. He says your father was a guzzling gambler, and there haven't been many backbiters to equal your aunt. And Natalia further says that there's so many people who talk at your back about your aunt also. So Chibukov further says it's an open secret that before the last elections, I can see stars. Where is my hat? So both of them, Chibukov and Lomov, they are behaving in a manner as if they are just going out of their senses. Especially Lomov, we find that attitude of his here. It's low, it's dishonest, it's mean. So they are accusing each other, they are blaming each other, they are spoiling each other's family's name. So you can actually visualize that the scene, the particular act where the fight is going on between the three of them, and three of them using behaving weirdly, using abusive tone, somewhere yelling at each other and being disrespectful towards each other. So Chibukov he is telling Lomov, do not put your foot here in my house again. So he's asking Lomov to leave immediately, and he says, do not come to my house again. So now recall the purpose of his visit. He was there to propose his daughter. Chibukov was very happy for that, right? The entire plot started when Lomov was about to propose Natalia, but before he could do that, he just wanted to lay a foundation where he told, see, we know each other's families for quite a long time. Our families are having good relationships. We are having that much wealth. We are having Oxen Meadows. You are having Birchwoods. So it was at that point where the discussion started, and the discussion converted into a hot argument where Lomov claimed that Oxen Meadows belonged to them, and Natalia said that Oxen Meadows belonged to them. So now the proposal part is left behind. Nobody's concerned about it, and rather the big clash, the big fight is there, where Chibukov is asking Lomov to get out of the house and do not set his foot again in his house, right? So Natalia further says that we are going to take this matter to the court, and Chibukov says they will take him because Lomov is in a condition where he's almost senseless, he's about to faint. So he's saying take him out of the house. So now both father and daughter, there's a discussion between them. They are, in a way, they're blaming Lomov's family, they're accusing Lomov family, they're calling him by different names, the villain, the scarecrow, the monster, right? And he says that first of all, he has taken our land, and then he has the impudence to abuse us, right? He still has that gut feeling that he can guts to abuse them. So now Chubukov here now discloses the thing, and that blind hen, yes, that turnip host has the confounded cheek to make proposal, and so on. Now Chubukov is telling Natalia that see, this was the man, and he was here with the proposal. So obviously Natalia is shocked because Natalia was not aware that what was the purpose of his visit. So on this, Natalia says, what proposal? Why he came here to propose to you, Natalia, to propose to me? Why didn't you tell me so before? Now Natalia is shocked. She was like to her father, why didn't you tell me that the purpose of his visit here was to propose me? He wanted to seek my hand for marriage. So Chubukov, so he dresses up in the evening clothes, the stuffed sausage, the wizened face trump. So Chubukov is still speaking against him. He says that was the reason he was dressed up formally, because today he was not just for the normal meet, he was there to propose you. Now you will see a change in Natalia's attitude now, because she knows why he was there, and she has entered into a clash with him, she had entered into an argument with him. But when she comes to know that he was there to seek her hand for marriage, you will find a major change in Natalia's attitude. Let's find it out. Please continue reading, Natalia.
To propose to me, bring him back. Back. Bring him here.
Bring whom here?
Quick, quick. I'm ill. Fetch him.
What's that? What's the matter with you? Oh,
See,
unhappy
this is
man.
very ironical here. Just a few seconds before, Natalia was busy fighting with him, and now when she comes to know that he was there to propose her, she says, "Oh, he was there to propose me. Bring him back. Bring him back." Right? And then she says, "Oh, I please quick fetch him." And she is like as if she's going to get hysterics, as if she's going to fall down, as if she's going to faint. So now she's pressurizing her father that please bring him back. He was there to get married to me. I want to marry him. Please bring him back. Right? So we find the characters, how greedy these people are. Somewhere that they have no bondings, no relationships. It's all folliness, I would say, which is going on. Folliness because they are the people who run after wealth. They are the people who look for materialistic things, but no values and no attributes we do not find missing here in all of these characters, I would say. Please continue.
Oh, unhappy man that I am. I'll shoot myself. I'll hang myself. We have done for her.
I'm dying. Fetch him.
Oh, at once, don't yell.
What have they done to me? Fetch him back. Fetch him.
He's coming, and so on. They will take him. I'll talk to him yourself. I don't want to.
Fetch him.
He's coming, I tell you. Oh, what a burden. Lord, to be the father of a grown up daughter, I'll cut my throat. I will indeed. We cursed him, abused him, drove him out, and it's all you. You.
No, it was you.
I tell you, it's not my fault. Now, you talk to him yourself.
My heart's palpitating awfully. My foot's gone to sleep. There's something that keeps pulling in my side.
Forgive us, Ivan Vassilevich. We were all a little heated. I remember now. Oxen Meadows really are yours.
My heart's beating up fully. My eyebrows are both twitching.
The meadows are yours. Yes, yours. Do sit down. We were wrong.
Okay, wait. We're going to take a pause here now. See, Natalia and Chubukov. Now, Natalia, as I told you, she was like, go fetch him back because I want to marry him. So now we see that she has changed all of a sudden. And now father starts blaming his daughter. He says, why I am such an unhappy man. Because I'll shoot myself, I'll hang myself. So everyone here is overreacting. Whether it was Lomo who was asking for water as if he was going to faint. Now Natalia, earlier she was standing very strongly. She was busy fighting. She was into that hot debate with Lomo over the Oxen Meadows. But now when she knows that he was there to propose, she has all of a sudden she's gone very weak and she says that, oh, I'm dying, right? And Chubukov here says that how unhappy I am. Again, he is scolding his daughter also. Then both father and daughter are blaming each other. So Chibukov on this says, I have called him. When Natalia says fetch him, when she starts crying and she starts, you can say as if she's getting hysterics. Hysterics, you understand, as if she's about to fall down. She's in a condition where she'll be unconscious, right? So when all these things happen, then Chibukov goes to call Lomov. Now Chibukov comes back and tells her that he's coming. I tell you, oh, what a burden, Lord, to be the father of a grown-up daughter. Now he is blaming himself. He says, how unlucky I am to be a father of a grown-up daughter. I'll cut my throat. I will indeed. We cursed him, abused him, drove him out, and it's all you. So now Chibukov is telling his daughter that's because of you I'm suffering, and it was you who abused him. Now Natalia said, no, it was you. So both of them are also fighting. So again, the bottom line, which I told you in the beginning itself, the entire play is about these three quarrelsome people who, by any means, they are not going to lead that smooth life. That by any means they are going to fight, they are going to argue, they are going to debate, and nothing is smooth. By the end also you will find even when the marriage is done, still the fight continues. They started with the fight continues, and they ended with the fight. right? Let's please read out this part when Lomov enters.
I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me, but the principle,
Yes, the principle, just so. Now let's talk of something else.
the more so as I have evidence. My aunt's grandmother gave the land to your father grandfather's peasants.
Yes, yes, let that pass. I wish I knew how to get him started. Are you going to start shooting soon?
Okay, let's take a pause here because the time is up. Now here we find Natalia being very soft with Lomov. Now Lomov is back, so she simply tells him that land is yours. We were mistaken, right? Lomov says that the land hardly matters to me. It's hardly of any worth to me. But I'm talking about principle, and my grandmother has given it to your grandfather's peasants, so actually it belongs to us. Now Natalia is not concerned about the land. She is a smart lady. She somewhere knows that once she gets married to him, ultimately everything will be her own, right? So she says, let's lead. Let's not talk about the land. It's simply yours. Let's forget about it. Let's talk about something else. So we find Natalia's character here being a very smart, a very sharp, and a cunning lady. Obviously, she's very greedy. She's quarrelsome. But then we find a change in her attitude when she understands that he was there to marry her. Okay, we can stop here.